They smile at you every day. They know your secrets. They act like your biggest supporter. And right now, they're planning exactly how to destroy you. The most dangerous person in your life isn't your enemy. It's the one pretending to be your friend while sharpening the knife behind their back. What if I told you that every backstabber leaves the same 6 signs before they strike? Signs so obvious that once you see them, you'll spot them everywhere. But here's what nobody tells you. Recognizing these signs isn't enough. You need to understand the dark psychology that creates them. Last week, my friend Marcus called me at midnight. His business partner of 3 years had just stolen his biggest client and his entire team. But here's the thing. Marcus saw it coming 6 months ago. He noticed the signs but ignored them because he couldn't believe someone so close would betray him. How did I not see this? He asked. But he did see it. He just didn't understand what he was looking at. Stop. That feeling in your gut right now? That person who just popped into your mind? Hold on to that, because in the next few minutes, you're going to understand exactly what your instincts are trying to tell you. The truth is, backstabbers don't suddenly turn evil. They follow a predictable psychological pattern that a German philosopher discovered over 200 years ago. A pattern so dark that most psychology professors won't even teach it. But before I reveal who discovered this and why it matters to you right now, you need to understand something about human nature that will change how you see everyone around you. Something that will make you feel exposed and powerful at the same time. Right now, someone in your life is exhibiting at least 3 of these signs. Maybe it's your coworker who suddenly became your best friend. Maybe it's that family member who's unusually interested in your success. Maybe it's someone you'd never suspect. Here's what's terrifying. They don't even know they're doing it yet. The backstabbing impulse operates below conscious awareness. It starts as a tiny seed of resentment, invisible even to them. But there's a moment when it shifts. A moment when unconscious resentment becomes conscious planning. And that's when the 6 signs appear. You're about to learn something that Arthur Schopenhauer called the most dangerous truth about human nature. He said most people are psychologically incapable of handling this knowledge, that knowing it would make them paranoid. He was wrong about one thing. It doesn't make you paranoid. It makes you powerful. Because once you understand why people backstab, you'll never be blindsided again. You'll see it coming months before they even decide to do it. Are you ready to cross this line? Because once you know this, you can't unknow it. Your old self, the one who trusts blindly, is about to die. And what emerges will be someone far more dangerous. In the best possible way, Schopenhauer discovered that humans are driven by what he called the will to live. But here's the dark part nobody talks about. When someone perceives you as a threat to their survival, status, or self-image, their unconscious mind begins preparing to eliminate you. Not physically, socially, professionally, emotionally. And here's the first sign. They become unnaturally interested in your vulnerabilities. They'll ask innocent questions about your fears, your mistakes, your weaknesses. They're not trying to help. They're gathering ammunition. They're mapping your pressure points. Jennifer did this to her best friend Lisa. Spent months asking about Lisa's marriage problems, pretending to care, then used every detail to seduce Lisa's husband. Lisa never saw it coming because she thought sharing meant caring. But it gets darker because the second sign happens in reverse. They stop sharing their own vulnerabilities with you. The conversation becomes one-sided. They're building walls while tearing yours down. Think about someone in your life right now. When did they last tell you something that made them look weak? When did they last admit a mistake? If you can't remember, you might be looking at someone who's already chosen you as a target. But the third sign is where it gets truly disturbing. And if you're feeling uncomfortable right now, good. You should be, because what I'm about to tell you will make you see every conversation differently. The third sign is what Schopenhauer called sympathetic cruelty. They'll comfort you when you fail, but something feels off. Their sympathy feels like celebration. They say the right words, but their energy is wrong. You know that feeling when someone says, "I'm so sorry that happened," but their eyes are smiling? That's not your imagination. That's their unconscious mind celebrating your weakness. I need you to understand something. This isn't about being negative or seeing the worst in people. This is about protecting yourself from a very real psychological pattern that destroys lives every single day. You have the right to protect yourself. You have the right to see clearly. Carl Jung took this further. He discovered that backstabbers project their shadow, their own darkness, onto their victims. The fourth sign is when they start accusing you of things they're actually doing. If they suddenly say you're being secretive, they're hiding something. If they say you're being manipulative, they're manipulating you. If they say you can't be trusted, you see where this is going. Remember Michael from accounting? The one who accused Tom of stealing his ideas? 3 weeks later, we found out Michael had been taking credit for Tom's work for months. The accusation was a confession. But here's the twist that changes everything. And this is why most people never see betrayal coming. These aren't evil people. They're people whose survival instincts have identified you as a threat. And once that program starts running, it's almost impossible to stop. The fifth sign is the most subtle and the most dangerous. They start creating distance while maintaining proximity. They're physically present but emotionally absent. They're in your life but not of your life. They'll skip your wedding but show up for coffee. They'll forget your promotion but remember your problems. They're maintaining just enough connection to keep you close, but pulling back emotionally so the betrayal won't hurt them. Because here's what Schopenhauer understood. The backstabber suffers too. They have to kill their affection for you before they can hurt you. The withdrawal isn't just strategic, it's psychological self-protection. Alex did this to his brother Daniel, started missing family dinners, but still texted daily, stopped celebrating Daniel's wins, but always available for his losses. 6 months later, Alex testified against Daniel in a business lawsuit. Daniel said the betrayal came out of nowhere, but the signs were there for months. If this is hitting you the way it hit Marcus, the way it hit Lisa, the way it hit Daniel, you're starting to see it. That person in your life who fits this pattern. You're not crazy. You're not paranoid. You're finally seeing clearly. And if you want to go deeper into this psychological reality that most people will never understand, subscribe now, because we're just scratching the surface of human darkness. Let me tell you what happens to people who ignore these signs. They lose everything. Not just the relationship. They lose their confidence, their ability to trust, sometimes their career or reputation. But worse than that, they lose their sense of reality. Because when someone you trust betrays you, it doesn't just hurt, it makes you question your judgment about everything and everyone. Rachel ignored the signs with her sister Emma. Noticed Emma only called when she needed something. Noticed Emma's weird reaction to Rachel's engagement. Noticed Emma getting close to Rachel's fiancé. She's family, Rachel kept saying. The wedding never happened. Emma's pregnant with Rachel's ex-fiancé's baby now. But here's what happens to people who recognize these signs and act on them. They become untouchable. Not because they cut everyone off, but because they understand the game being played. They see the moves before they happen. They protect themselves without becoming paranoid. The sixth and final sign is what Nietzsche called the revenge of the weak. The backstabber starts undermining you to others, but so subtly you can't call it out without looking paranoid. I'm worried about them, they'll say. They've been acting strange lately. I probably shouldn't say this, but I just want what's best for them, but these phrases are psychological warfare. They're planting seeds of doubt while maintaining plausible deniability. If you confront them, you're the crazy one. If you don't, the poison spreads. Kevin destroyed his friend James this way. Spent 3 months telling everyone he was concerned about James's drinking. James barely drank. But by the time James realized what was happening, everyone thought he was an alcoholic in denial. Kevin got James's promotion. But here's what changes everything. Once you recognize this pattern, you have 3 choices, and only one of them will save you. Actually, wait. Before I tell you the 3 choices, you need to understand why people become backstabbers in the first place. Because this is where it gets personal. This is where you'll finally understand why that person in your life is showing these signs. The first choice is denial. You see the signs but rationalize them away. They would never do that to me. This is how Marcus lost his business. This is how most people get destroyed. The second choice is confrontation. You call them out on their behavior. But here's what Machiavelli understood. When you confront a backstabber before they strike, you force their hand. You accelerate the betrayal. The third choice is what I call strategic opacity. You see them, but you don't let them see that you see them. You start protecting your vulnerabilities without being obvious about it. You share less important information while seeming just as open. You create false vulnerabilities for them to target while protecting your real ones. Listen to me. This isn't about becoming fake or manipulative. This is about being intelligent with your trust. You're not closing your heart. You're protecting it strategically. Most people will never understand this distinction. But you're not most people. You're here, learning this, because you're ready to stop being a victim. But here's the deepest truth. And this is where Jung's shadow theory becomes terrifying. The people most likely to backstab you are the ones who see themselves in you. They're attracted to you because you reflect their potential. But eventually, your success becomes a mirror of their failure. Your happiness highlights their misery. Your growth emphasizes their stagnation. The backstabber doesn't really hate you. They hate what you represent, the version of themselves they failed to become. This is why backstabbing is so personal. It's not about you. It's about them trying to destroy the evidence of what they could have been. Think about the last person who betrayed you. What quality did you have that they wanted? What success did you achieve that they felt they deserved? What happiness did you display that made their unhappiness unbearable? Now think about someone in your life right now who fits this pattern. Someone who was initially drawn to your light but now seems bothered by it. Someone who used to celebrate your wins but now minimizes them. That person is wrestling with their shadow, and you're about to become their casualty. Unless you understand one final principle that changes everything. Something so powerful that once you grasp it, you'll never be the same. You'll walk through the world with a different energy. People will sense something has changed about you, but they won't be able to place it. You'll have become psychologically unreadable. Schopenhauer said something that most people can't accept. The safest way to deal with humans is to assume they will harm you the moment it benefits them more than helping you. This sounds cynical, but it's not. It's strategic. When you accept this truth, something powerful happens. You stop taking betrayal personally. You stop feeling like a victim. You start seeing human behavior as predictable patterns rather than personal attacks. But here's the transformation nobody expects. When you truly understand why people backstab, you develop what Nietzsche called Amor Fati, love of fate. You accept betrayal as part of the human experience, not something to fear, but something to navigate. This doesn't make you cold. It makes you wise. You can still love people. You can still trust, but you trust with intelligence, not naivety. You love with boundaries, not blindness. Here's your new framework for relationships, and write this down because it will save you years of pain. Trust is earned in drops and lost in buckets. When someone shows you one of the 6 signs, you don't cut them off. You adjust your vulnerability accordingly. You create layers of trust instead of all or nothing relationships. Your inner circle becomes smaller but stronger. Your outer circles become larger but lighter. You give everyone the exact amount of access they've earned, no more, no less. Robert learned this after his business partner Nathan betrayed him. Now Robert has layers. His true inner circle? 3 people who've proven themselves over decades. Everyone else exists in carefully managed zones of trust. Robert hasn't been betrayed in 5 years. He also hasn't become paranoid or isolated. He's become intelligent. But the most powerful shift is this. You stop needing everyone to be trustworthy. You accept that some people will betray you, and that's okay. Because you've built your life in a way where no single betrayal can destroy you. You become psychologically anti-fragile. Betrayal doesn't break you anymore. It teaches you. It refines your judgment. It strengthens your boundaries. And here's the ultimate paradox. When you stop fearing betrayal, you become harder to betray. When you accept the darkness in human nature, you become harder to manipulate. When you see the patterns, you become impossible to blindside. You're not becoming paranoid. You're becoming aware. You're not becoming cynical. You're becoming strategic. You're not closing your heart. You're protecting it intelligently. That shift you're feeling right now, that's your psychology rewiring itself. That's you becoming dangerous in the best possible way. That's you finally becoming unreadable. Right now, you have 2 paths ahead of you. You can forget everything you just learned. Go back to trusting blindly. Hope that the people around you are different. Hope that you'll be the exception. Or you can accept this knowledge, use it, master it. Start watching for the six signs. Not with fear, but with curiosity. Not with paranoia, but with intelligence. The backstabber in your life is already showing at least three signs. Your unconscious mind has already noticed them. That uncomfortable feeling you get around certain people, that's your instincts screaming warnings your conscious mind doesn't want to hear. Listen to them. If this video found you, it's not by accident. You're ready for this knowledge. You're ready to stop being blindsided. You're ready to become psychologically dangerous in the best possible way. But this is just the beginning. The six signs are just the surface. There are deeper patterns, darker truths, more powerful strategies. If you're ready to go deeper, if you're ready to understand the hidden psychology that controls every human interaction, if you're ready to become truly unreadable, subscribe to this channel, but don't tell everyone about it. Some knowledge is too powerful to be public. Some truths are meant for the few who can handle them. You're one of those few. You made it to the end of this video. You crossed the line. You can't go back now. Your old self, the naive one, the trusting one, the one who got betrayed, that person is gone. What remains is someone who sees clearly, someone who can't be blindsided, someone who's finally psychologically free. Welcome to the other side. The question isn't whether someone will betray you. The question is, will you see it coming? Now you will. And that changes everything.